Hello everyone, and welcome to Using H5P in Moodle Part 2. My name is Jerry, and in Part 1 of our demo we looked at using H5P in terms of what the Moodle site settings were and also how to add an H5P activity to a Moodle course. And we got as far as looking at the content menu and selecting the course presentation content type. So we're going to continue here with just a quick walkthrough of how to add a course presentation. Now the course presentation allows you to create a slide-based presentation of your learning material. Slides can contain a mixture of images and text, audio and video clips, as well as various quiz-type questions to provide a richer learning experience. As you will see, course presentations are relatively simple to create, publish, and edit. Now, before we actually start looking at the editor, I just want to draw your attention to the tutorial link up here. Several of the H5P content types do have tutorials available where they'll actually walk you through all the steps to creating that particular content type, and course presentation is one that they do have a tutorial for. And I found that the tutorial was really helpful in getting me prepared to do this little demo for you. So the first thing we're going to start with is adding a title, which I'm going to make my presentation on the brain, since that's what we've been learning about in my other MDDE course. And then I'll go ahead and add my first slide. And I'm going to choose to show my slides. It's not necessary to have the slide name shown. You can also allow users just to navigate at the bottom of the slideshow. In this case, we're going to show the slides. So I'll add a title to the first slide. And we'll just repeat the brain. And then I'm going to add an image. So all of these icons up here are things that you can add to a slide. And we'll look at several of these in this presentation. So the first thing I want to add actually is an image. And I will go to ones that I've already saved. Now, when you're adding content, it's important that you do complete the information on the metadata if you plan to publish your H5P activity. In my case, I used all images from Wikimedia, which are licensed under a Creative Commons share-alike license, and I would fill that in here along with the author's name. For the sake of time, I'm going to come back and do that later. And also, I will come back later and enter an alternate text for people using text-to-speech readers, and also some hover text. And then you can also choose to enter comments if you wish. So my image now will appear in the editor, and I'm just going to leave it like that for now and resize it once I get my text added. So to add my text, I open up another little editor, and I'm going to go to where I've got my text saved already. Just copy that and add it in the text box here. Now I don't like how it's reformatted it, so I'm just going to get rid of that formatting and bullet this. And then I'm going to save that. And again, you'll want to enter your metadata for your text as well. Mine came from Wikipedia, so I'll go in and enter that later. So that now brings up the two items that I want on this slide, and I can just drag and drop them and resize them how I want them to appear. So it's very easy to do that. Just make this image also a little bit bigger. And you can go back at any time and play around with these, get them how you how you want them. That's good enough, I think, for our first slide. Now, I'm going to pause the video and add some more similar type slides, and then we'll look at how you can add some other interesting features, such as some video and some different types of quiz questions. So I'll be back shortly. Okay, so here we are back in our H5P course presentation activity. I've added a few more slides, and I want to show you now how to add a YouTube video. So we're going to go down here and add a new slide and call it Your Brain is You. And go up here and insert video. Okay, we'll enter our title. And we have options for either uploading a video or pasting a YouTube link. So I'm actually just going to go up here and paste this link. And then insert that. And we've got some settings here for visuals. You can choose to add a poster image if you don't like the image on the initial YouTube screen. I've chosen also to fit my video player to all available space and show video player controls. We've also got some playback options and some accessibility options. And H5P is making an effort to make their content types comply with accessibility standards. So I'm done with that. My video shows up here, and I can easily resize it. Now, when learners are going through the course presentation, they will have the option to also view this directly in YouTube if they prefer to see it on a larger screen. So that's good for that slide. Now the next slide I'm going to add is to just test my learners a little bit. So I'm going to call this What Did You Learn? And in here, I'm going to add a single choice set. I've got an options for fill in the blanks, single choice, multiple choice, true, false, drag and drop, and a summary slide. Summary is pretty much the same as single choice, but it's used right at the end of a presentation, and it's called summary, and it just basically summarizes the learning. So it's a nice one to use in context where you just want to have a summary at the end of everything. We'll go ahead with single choice set, and I'll get my question from here. And in my alternatives, I want to put my correct answer as the first one. And I'll add a couple more. And one more. And there it is. So I'm just going to move that up, make that in the space a little bit better, and then we'll go ahead and add another question in this same slide, and this one we'll do is a fill in the blank. So for this particular question type, gives you some good instructions about how to create it so that it'll create the blank in the right space and correct it properly for the answer that you want the learners to input in the blank. You can add a slash for more than one answer and a colon if you want to add a little tip for them. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my question for that. All right. Save that. Okay, and I'm just going to move that down. Space it out. So there we've got 2 questions on that slide with my little tip included there. Now, the other thing I had wanted also to show you was how to add the drag and drop. But unfortunately that one, I did create this activity on my own H5P site. So I will be uploading it and you will have a chance to see how the drag and drop activity works. There are a few more steps involved and we just don't have the time to cover it in this video. So please do, I'll be posting that to our WordPress site and you'll have a chance to see how that works. Essentially I put up an image of the brain and then just a way for learners to drag labels onto the brain. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, save it so that we can have a quick look at what it looks like in Moodle. So I'll do a save and display. It's taking a little bit of time, but here we go. So this is what it looks like once it's been published in Moodle. I'll just actually go back to our site so you can see what it looks like there. So here we've got topic 1 and there is our H5P activity, the brain. We click on it. It opens up to our first slide and we can go through the slides. It's lined up a little bit better. Frontal lobe, temporal lobe, carry on to where our video is, and we can begin to play that. And then our quiz slide. So temporal lobe is responsible for, if I say projecting future consequences, I see it's wrong. Retry. And I'm going to select this one and it's correct. Fill in the missing words. There are how many neurons in the human brain? And in the video we learned that there were 10 billion. Amazing. My little tip says, think back to the video. Check that and it is correct. Now the other thing, H5P actually does add an additional 9th slide, which is a little summary slide of what my score is on the quiz type questions that I added to the activity. So that's it for H5P. As I said, the link that I'll upload to our WordPress site does also have the additional drag and drop activity. So thanks everyone. I hope that you learned something about using H5P in Moodle and hope that you will check out some of the rest of our team's video content. Thanks again.